Haleluya, wewe ni Bwana wa mabwana. Yes, Mteti.
Yeah, I'm now back. Poleni jamani.
It's okay. It's okay. Kamera, natumia kamera ya simu. So Mteti,
Yes, Patrick. I can hear you.
the economy of this country is going to be, when we were discussing earlier, you said about the country and how we should be taking care of things in this country. Because from your perspective, the economy is not heading in the right direction. And of course, you can tell it's not heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
And we know there are some forces behind what is happening currently in our nation. It's not the wish of the president for things to be the way they are. But nevertheless, we are where we are. So maybe you can take it out. We are here at the Villager 254. We are not scripted. We don't have how we do things. It is just free flow, the way you feel, because we are speaking from our hearts. As the villagers meaning, we may not know a lot. We may not be the people who make and decide on the economic decisions and choices in this country, or politicians, but we have an opinion because the leaders who are there today were sometime like any one of us, and therefore we have an opinion and we have something to say about what's happening in our country currently. So go ahead.
I think, Patrick, what the government must do as at now in order to redeem the situation is that in the first place, and as a matter of fact and urgency, the government must cut spending. There's a lot of excess of expenditure in government. And unless the current administration can actually downsize government spending, it can be very difficult for the economy to rise, because if you compare our government spending to governments in other countries in Africa, or probably out there in the senior economic links, you discover that our spending is too high. And as a matter of urgency, if I could advise the current administration, they should make sure that if they speak about austerity measures, these austerity measures need to be real, and we need to see action going forward. The areas where I see excess of government spending, I think, is the kind of expenditure we are seeing. You can imagine the kind of convoys that you see our elected leaders, move around with, the fuel guzzlers. If you compare the way our elected leaders, economies, the way the kind of spending that we see in their movement is not acceptable. And if the government could probably control that kind of expenditure, I think we can be able to free some money that can go into investment, which can create employment to the people who are wallowing in anti poverty without jobs. The other thing I can see is that the corruption issue must be handled, and I would strongly recommend that the people who have embezzled the government, public funds, like it happened in the other countries where fighting craft, is taken seriously. People should be responsible, and they should return that money back to the exchequer, because if there is evidence that somebody has embezzled public funds walking free, why should they be living large? We've been seeing people, enjoying themselves, living posh life, lifestyles that are not commensurate. The government should now walk the talk and make sure that those people are brought to book, and not only being brought to book, they should pay back that money as soon as possible. The other thing is the conflicts that we are seeing happening in government, because if the president is not, speaking in one voice with the deputy president, we expect the consequences that came with the previous administration to recur. So, as a matter of urgency, the DP Gashagwa should consider president dialogue, with both of them in ground, so that and I can assure you, and this should know, current conflict continue deepening, definitely to effect. I don't think whether we at the moment can afford, to contain the kind of we saw happening in the previous administration. And what I think they are hands. They are witch hunters who are witch hunting, this position of a deputy president. Probably in the next election, there might be people who are eyeing that position. But I can assure you, it's too early. It's too early for them to start having such active politics, because I think the people who are coming in between, they don't mean well for this country. And if they were, then we would not see a situation where the deputy president has become a lone ranger, even denied, opportunities with government that he was a lead ticket with the president. So going forward, I think those conflicts should end, because they will impact negatively in already ailing economy. The other thing is the cost of doing business. Cost of doing business is too high, and you can bear me witness. Go by, yes.
Yeah, I'm asking. Don't you think,
Patrick,
before you go to
what I mean is that
before you go to the cost of living, maybe I can interject there and ask you, or just say this: what if the conflict between the president and the deputy it has been caused by probably the deputy president realizing that the president is not taking this country in the right direction? Or number two, what if the deputy president has decided on his own accord, having realized that probably the president is no longer supporting his community, the shareholders. Probably he's defranchising them by him lifting some young men from the mountain. We are talking about Nidinyoro, Imani Chungwa, and the rest who are attacking the deputy president. What if the president has commissioned these young men, to fight the deputy president? Number three, what if actually no one is fighting Gashagwa, but he is creating a space for himself because he has realized that the president has no intentions of running with him in 2027. So, and what if the deputy president has realized that the president sold our country to foreigners and is now serving the masters, the Western masters? And you know, Mzungu is worse than a Chinese when it comes to controlling our leaders. What if the president is a hostage of international community and international superpowers to do their will? Because it seems to me that the president has forgotten that hustlers elected him and he came to office based on hustlers and mamambogas. So what if those four reasons are making the deputy president to be who he is? And I think we've not heard from the deputy president his genuine reasons why things are happening the way they are happening, because there must be something big and major between him and the president. And there is something Gachagua knows, probably don't know. So what if those four reasons are causing the deputy president to behave the way he's behaving? Maybe you can respond to that as you're going to the cost of doing business.
Well, Patrick, I think the president to understand the kind of damage he is doing to the economy, his choice to probably go the four ways you are speaking. I think you should take heed of the voice of reason, because as you have just articulated, those four reasons, I want to concur with you 101%. It's true that the big boy, agreed with him. And what I think they are out to do, they are looking for investment opportunities on areas not quite augur well. That kind of opportunities that they are looking through dialogue with the president, and the president is ceding ground to allow them. It may not impact positively on the economy. So DP Gachagua, if Gachagua might have already discovered the four that you are talking about, it's adequate ground, adequate reason for him to behave the way he's behaving. But in the focal, out in the domain that there are guys who are around the president. There are guys who are talking to the president, and it's like there is a game plan, to throw him out of the political for deputy president in the next term. And those guys who are becoming vocal every day that Gachagua is playing, is playing. There is I have every reason to believe that the guys who are talking to the president, and when they come out in the public domain, their words guys are coveting this position of a deputy president. And come 2027, I think that they want to displace him out of the joint card for presidency and deputy president. So that is a reason that can make Gachagua behave the way he's behaving. Okay. But you have mentioned 3 very serious reasons why the president should consider dialogue. Because now, as you have said, and it's what I can say is now the elephant in the room. The elephant in the room may not be necessarily the guys who are probably coveting these points come 2027. But the 3 other reasons you have mentioned, and every Kenyan worry if the president could choose that route. You know, the economy hurting, and I don't know who knows the kind of problem people are facing at the bottom of the pyramid. The so-called Mamamboga guys and the other people. You know, when we see them living large, you know, at the pinnacle of the pyramid, it hurts to believe that the 3 other reasons you have just mentioned, the president is well aware. I would expect probably the president to take heed of our cry, to listen to our voice of reason, and probably rethink his position. Because like, his recent visit to the US, everybody was in a position to make a judgment, you know. When the deal is too good, wise men say that you should think twice. So when
you should think twice.
When we see the close relationship the close relationship between the president and the US, you see, we to worry because the US has not been that close to Kenya, and we is playing against Kenya. Most likely, probably they have seen an area where they can invest and probably benefit more than we do. We don't want to dismiss opportunity, mutual benefits. But if it's a genuine mutual benefit, if the relationship we are seeing is founded on a foundation of mutual benefit, the two of those countries benefiting, we have no problem. But then the president should be very careful when he sees the big boys probably relating to him.
I seem to have lost Mteti, but the thing we are trying to put across today is this. What is going on between the president and his deputy? How is this situation affecting the governance of this country, the stability of our country, the political temperature this early in our country, and what are the ripple effects on the economy, especially the business environment and the livelihoods of Kenyans? What is going to happen with job opportunities, entrepreneurial growth, and all these things that support the economy of a nation? And therefore, it's a concern. We don't know really what the deputy president is up to and why he's acting the way he's acting. Neither do we know why is the president becoming the darling of the Western. Why is he trusting the Muzungu, the guys who colonized us? Is it LGBTQ or something else that probably he's being drawn to and they're bringing him that close for that? Or is it the American agenda for the world? If you want to rule Africa, get one African, make him a king. I don't know politics, and I don't know much about international relations or politics. I'm a businessman. I'm doing business, and I'm studying business and entrepreneurship. So I leave the political conclusions to you. I'm just speaking from a common man's point of view. And therefore, my dear countrymen, we need to really, really think about our nation. I commend the young people who are taking the narrative of this country. Some people are playing them. They are taking them for granted. I've seen someone say that they were paid. Dennis Itumbi, that they were paid to come out and demonstrate. So what? If this will help the young people take up the responsibility of standing for their rights for this country so that we create a new generation of leaders. And I would like to say, Babowino, you are not the leader of this new crop of leaders that are coming up. However, leadership is taken. A good professor told me. So I know you want to take the leadership of this Gen Z. However, these Gen Zs, they have their own leaders, and you're not their leader, Babowino. And even if someone gave them money, so what? They came out and their message was sent home. And someone has to support them. Someone has to support a cause. And politicians use a lot of money to come to power. Is it a problem if Gen Zs are sponsored to go to the streets and demonstrate so that the government listens? What's wrong with that? Is there anything wrong with it? I elected President William Ruto. I still support him. I believe in his bitter agenda. I will keep on repeating this. But I must hold him accountable to me, the voter. What he promised me, he must deliver. Governor Cecilin Barire told you very well in your PG meeting that you held at State House on Tuesday that if you do not deliver on the promises that you told us, we will send you home in vengeance. Why? Because President Ruto, I trusted you, I believed you, I bought your vision, I bought your passion, and I bought your dream about this country. And I believed in you totally. But I must question you now whether indeed you are serving the Mama Mboga, the hustler, and the Boda Boda at this particular time when we're talking. Because it seems you no longer care. All you're caring is increasing taxes in the name of pain. I will ask you the question again as I asked you, sir. Why not lower your expenditures? Why must you spend 3.99 trillion? Why not 3 trillion? We begin there, then we go on cutting it, reducing it. Okay, you are saying the only money you can reduce is development. Why development and not recurring expenditures? Why not cut the recurring expenditures? What's wrong with the house that you left at Karen? That it must be repaired with the 600 plus millions while it was built. The entire house was built below that. Why should the renovation take 600 million? Seriously, that's not reasonable. So I believe you can cut and implement the austerity measures, starting with you cutting the expenses of your government. Don't interfere with our development money. Cut your expenditures. Cut expenses. Reduce them completely. And I believe we can live within our means. So, Mr. President, when you're talking about living within our means, then you are setting aside $1 billion to repair deputy president's residence and your state house. and then cast for the deputy president for 200 million. I have nothing against His Excellency Gashagwa. No, 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 no. As a person, no. But I have everything against money being spent the way you want to spend it. Okay. What do I know? Nothing. But I have feelings, and I'm being affected by what is happening in our country. And I must speak out. And this is my view. The view of the villager 5 or 254 living in this beautiful nation called Kenya. And therefore, I wish my president the very best, but we will continue to hold you accountable. We will continue to demonstrate when we realize you're not doing what you're supposed to do. We will encourage the Gen Z, those are my children, to go on the street and demonstrate so that their voices can be heard and the leaders can be accountable. And to you MPs who are just out there to eat and be fat, be fat. And of course, you are going to eat come the election day. We will vote you out. Yes. And we will elect new people. And the people are going to elect next. We are going to have a change in this country because we are going to run a civic education to the grassroots. We will continue advocating for it. People will know their right. People will know the kind of leaders to elect. And even if the election, people try to steal the election, it will be impossible because the society, the community, the villagers, the common man will guard the vote of the leaders they have elected. This is my parting shot. Thank you very much for listening to me. I wish the best for this country, but hard times are coming. I don't see any easy way out. Any easy way out, no. Because they removed the eco tax, but they have added 7 or 8% of the petroleum levy. Seriously? Any money you add, Mr. Kimani, it will come to us. It will hurt our economy. It will hurt the manufacturer, the producer, the farmer, everyone. The more you are adding taxes, especially on fuel, the more Kenyan products are becoming expensive to compete at the international market. That's why importing things from Tanzania, I suspect the X that you have added, excise duty, and the pampers you've added, the eco levy, at the end of the day, they will always be cheaper than eggs from Kenya and diapers produced in Kenya. Why? The cost of production is extremely high because taxes must be paid. If you want our country to grow, we must deal with the cost of production. We must know what affects the cost of production at the base. That is fuel. If you lower fuel, everything is affected by fuel costs. Two, if you charge us affordable taxes, then it means the cost of goods and services will go down, will go lower. If you reduce taxes here and there, you see, we will have higher disposable income. And that means the economy will grow. Mr. President, you have not paid the bills that are pending, 662 billion from 2005 to 2024. And you promised during campaigns you are going to sort it out. And when you came in, you came with fire and you believed you were going to be paid our money within, the suppliers, not me, were going to be paid within 3 months. We were hoping, me as a real estate professional, to sell houses to rent houses. You know, money was going to circulate. My business would have grown a little bit. But up to now, sir, you've not paid anything. And therefore, my appeal to the ruling class is this. Why are you so arrogant? Why are you so arrogant? Osoro, you were telling us in the morning that you want roads and you don't want taxes. Really? Really, Osoro? Is it that you don't feel what you're feeling? Simply because you have a big guzzler, you have a big number of employees, you have drivers, you have security, your homes are guarded, everything for you is free, 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 free. You don't pay for anything more. Mr. Osoro, you don't pay for anything. You are the chief whip of the ruling coalition. Maybe to you, 100,000 is breakfast. Like Kamogo said many years ago that I think 6,000 or thereabouts was breakfast for him. That time, that was maybe a salary for 3 people working for the government. So, arrogance. Let's stop arrogance. I would like to see UDA come back in 2027. But you must call yourself to order, guys. Anyway, who am I? What do I know? I'm just a villager making noise. Thank you. Good night. This is the villager 254. Let me in the conversation. Thank you and good night.